We often think of personal growth as this massive, intimidating task. But what if we just reframed it? What if we saw life not as some huge mountain we have to conquer, but more like a game we get to play? A continuous internal game where, really, we get to set the rules. Today, we're going to explore exactly that.
This idea is so powerful. So many of us, right, we wait for the perfect moment to make a change. A new year, a new job, whatever it is. But the key insight here is that the opportunity isn't coming, it's already here. Every single day gives us a fresh start, a new chance to evolve.
Okay, so let's dive into this first big idea, seeing life as a constant opportunity. If we stick with that game metaphor, it means there's no final end screen you're racing to. We are always, and I mean always, in the middle of the level. We're always in a state of becoming. Look, growth is happening whether we like it or not. We're all developing, we're all learning, just at our own unique speed. The real game changer, though, that's when you decide to consciously engage with that process. It's when you start paying attention to your own evolution. And here's the thing. This internal work, it almost never stays internal. It's kind of contagious. Think about a sports team for a second. When one player really steps up their game, the whole dynamic of the team can shift, right? Well, it's the exact same in life. Your growth isn't just for you. It ripples out and elevates everything and everyone around you. But there is a major obstacle that trips almost all of us up on this path, and that is the trap of comparison. It is, without a doubt, the single fastest way to take your eyes off your own game. Let me paint you a picture here. Imagine you're a runner in a long-distance race. You've got your own lane, you've got your own pace, and you've got your own challenges to deal with. Your only goal is to run your race to the absolute best of your ability. And this brings us to a choice we're making every single day. You can spend all your energy looking over at the runner in the next lane, getting frustrated, losing your rhythm, and basically just grinding to a halt. Or you can stay focused on your own lane, on your steps, on your breathing. And that's where you find it. That's where you find focus, awareness, and real tangible progress. So if looking outward at everybody else is the trap, well, the solution has to be the exact opposite, right? All meaningful change, all true growth, it all begins by turning your attention inward. This is a pretty fundamental shift in thinking. I mean, if you're not trying to beat someone else, what are you actually doing? Where does this whole journey even start? It starts right here. This is the whole answer. It's not about external benchmarks or keeping up with anyone else. The game isn't against other people. It's about becoming a better version of yourself for yourself. And when you start looking inward, you develop this incredible skill, awareness. Think of it like an athlete's peripheral vision. A really focused basketball player isn't just staring at every other player on the court. They feel the game. They sense the flow around them. The same thing happens in life. When you get focused on your own growth, you start sensing opportunities and seeing patterns that were totally invisible before. And this all builds to our next core principle, this idea of planting and harvesting. This is the part where your inner focus actually starts to shape your outer world. Every thought, every action. It's like a seed that you plant. Now, this is a two-part idea, so stick with me. The first part is all about choice. You get to choose what seeds you plant, the thoughts you focus on, the actions you take, the habits you build. That part, that's entirely up to you. And here's the second part. Whatever you plant, you will eventually harvest. The consequences, they're not optional. You just can't plant seeds of negativity and frustration and then expect to harvest a life full of joy and opportunity. It doesn't work that way. Your mindset basically acts like a signal. If you're constantly planting seeds of complaint, always focusing on problems, your reality is going to reflect that right back at you. But if you consciously choose to plant seeds of growth and learning, you start to attract and literally create new opportunities. You truly do reap what you sow. All right, this brings us to our final section, and honestly, it's the most actionable one. Growth isn't about making one single perfect decision. It's about the art of making small, continuous adjustments along the way. So, how does this actually work in practice? Well, it's a pretty simple loop. First, you build awareness. You just start noticing your patterns, no judgment. Then you make a small adjustment. You choose to respond a little differently instead of just reacting on autopilot. And over time, all those tiny adjustments build into intention, and you start moving with real purpose. And the difference this makes, wow, it is profound. You shift from being in this reactive state where you feel lost, you're constantly comparing yourself to others, to an intentional state. And this is where you feel purposeful. You can see the bigger picture, and you're totally focused on your own path. It is a completely different way to experience your life.
Seriously, if you take one thing away today, let it be this. Real growth has nothing to do with perfection. It's all about the willingness to become just a little bit better today than you were yesterday. That's where the magic is, in those small, continuous adjustments.
And that really brings us to the end. Life is always offering you another chance, another move, the opportunity to rethink, to improve, to move forward. It's always there. The game never, ever stops. So the only real question left is, how will you choose to play?